We are designing two custom configuration Brekkie Car Club wheels with EVO61 and adaptive wheels. Follow along on our 4-part YouTube video series as we head over to THW Design's machine shop to design the wheels. Then I'm taking my car to Surf City Detail Garage for a long overdue detail and PPF. After that, I'll cruise over to La Habra where Studio RSR will install lowering springs and carbon bits around the 435i. When all that is done, we're headed back to EVO61 and Adaptive to see what they've designed. Welcome to the Brekkie Car Club YouTube channel. This is my 2016 435i Gran Coupe. I've owned this car for a little over 4.5 years. It has played a pivotal role in building the Brekkie Car Club brand. Believe it or not, we use it to haul our Easy Up, tables, chairs, merchandise, and much more to every event we host. As you can tell, there's a fair amount of wear and tear on this car, as it is my daily. This particular car is powered by BMW's N55 Inline 6. It has an Evolution Raceworks charge pipe, NGK spark plugs, a CSF front mount intercooler, the boot mode Stage 2 91 octane tune, a Stage 2 AFE power air intake, a VRSF high flow downpipe, and that all feeds to a BMW M Performance exhaust. This car is sort of a sleeper, but it has looked OEM for way too long. And now I'm headed to Montclair to meet up with Rodney and Matt of EVO61 and Adaptive Wheels. They build forged 3-piece wheels and forged monoblock wheels. I don't know what's gonna go on my car. They're the professionals. They're gonna guide me to the right decision, but I'm super excited to fill you guys in on this project.
Welcome to the shop.
How's it going? What's up, Matt?
Good to see you, dude.
Good to see you too.
How are you guys? Oh yeah.
Good.
How are you, brother? Yeah.
Yeah, this is it, huh?
Yeah. Come on in. Let's make some wheels. Thanks for coming to the shop today, guys. Super excited to be here.
Yeah.
Walking in, you see all the cool wheels. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sick of looking OEM. You know, I've always wanted to go OEM plus. So
yeah.
now here's my opportunity.
We could always do a little bit better, you know. So EVO61 specializes in 3-piece wheels, multi-piece that you get a bit more customization to your wheel. The main difference between Evo and Adaptive is 3-piece wheel with a deep lip versus a 1-piece monoblock with a really deep concave. So it all kind of depends on the application of the car, what you're trying to do. A lot of modern cars have higher offsets where you can't get too much of a lip unless you're going wide body. A adaptive 1-piece monoblock would be a better wheel for that. Versus older cars or wide body cars where you can fit a big lip into the back, you would want to use a multi-piece Evo wheel.
I've always been a big fan of the 3-pieces, BBS LMs. As a kid growing up, seeing them on Ferraris and especially operating Brekkie Car Club. Later on, I became like a big fan of like HRE with the brushed silver because I come from a big corporate background. The car needs to look clean. And before I was all into, I guess as a kid, configuring cars in like Forza Motorsports to like look ridiculous. Right. You know, working in a corporate environment, I kind of matured in a way, and that's why I'm a big fan of like brushed silver rims.
Right, yeah.
They look classy too.
For people who are new to wheels, could you guys explain the difference between a 3-piece and a monoblock?
A 3-piece wheel obviously has 3 pieces. It has the outer lip, the inner barrel, and the center, the face of the wheel, and they're all bolted together. Whereas a monoblock is a 1-piece forging, where everything, the entire wheel, the barrel and the face, is all 1 piece.
Just from a single piece of metal?
Exactly.
But in general, three-piece kind of applies to older cars, which had high offsets. And, you know, new cars nowadays have huge brakes. They push the spindles out, right? So monoblocks fit that application better than, say, a three-piece. You notice, like, all new cars, the only time you see them with three-piece is when they have a wide body kit, right? Because it's so high offset stock that you have to move it out to actually get lit. You know, so in general, monoblocks are like for newer cars and three pieces for older cars in general.
So what we're doing with EVO61 and Adaptive is we're offering Brekkie Car Club built to order wheels. So you go onto brekkiecarclub.com and you're going to be able to buy what we decide to design in this video series. It's going to be very exciting for us, and if you're a Brekkie Car Club founder and you join our founders program, you get a sizable discount towards these products. So EVO61 and Adaptive, they build custom wheels. You sit down with them and tell them what you want, and that's a big part of their business. So realistically, if you become a Brekkie Car Club founder, you join our founders program, you have access to EVO61 and Adaptive.
Yeah, and you're gonna get a taste of what it looks like because we're about to go through the process with them. So everything we're going through is what you guys will experience as well.
We're gonna take a quick break from this video to announce that Falken Tires has sponsored this series. Now, they have an all-season tire. It's called the Azenis FK460. It's good in wet conditions, snow. It's great on California streets. It has this new nano black technology that highlights the Falken in the Azenis logo like I've never seen on any tire before. And it has a 50K mile warranty. Falken Tires, thanks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it.
Hey Dylan, check this out, man.
No. That looks, you know, it's crazy because the Brekkie Car Club brand is white and black. We also do very nude colors like a lilac or a soft tan or a soft pink. But since BCC is mainly white and black, this wouldn't look so bad on my car and it wouldn't be a bad representation of what we're about. That is so cool. And really, like I discussed earlier, cool to see the wheels next to my car, and it kind of gives it a better idea, right? You know,
seeing it on paper is one thing, but
Yeah.
like seeing it in person is completely different.
Yeah, because I'm glad you guys just made this, you know, happy little
Hey man.
mistake for me, because I mean, it feels wrong, but it also feels right. This big white wheel, and remember I told you I'm super corporate, so this is kind of against me right now, and I'm a little torn inside. But I have to say, with the carbon fiber that I'm going to get on this car and all the other pieces, I don't see why not.
Hey man, the heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah, that is super cool. I can definitely see my car in a white. It would be more of a head turner.
It would be.
For sure. Yeah,
it would be clean, man.
It would
the
be
black
clean.
and white.
I'm gonna have to sit on that. So far we're brushed silver because that's just the way I like to roll, but that is super cool.
So the first thing we want to do is check the outside fitment using the stock wheels, you know, because we want to maximize the width of the wheel so you get more tire, more grip, more power. So if you kind of look down the body of the car, you can kind of see how these are sunken in slightly. So we can go with a more aggressive stance. So what we're going to do is just kind of measure and see roughly how much more we can come out. I think we can come out about a ½ inch more to make it a bit more aggressive. Anything more, and then you might get into rubbing issues with the inside of the fender or when you're turning the wheel. But then again, we want to try and maximize as much as we can because they're custom forged, you know? So I think we can come out just about ½ an inch to be safe on the front. And then now let's check out the rears. Yeah, I think just about the same. Yeah, about ½ inch just to be safe. So cool. I mean, this is great having the stock wheels on the car, just so we can use it as a template to see how much more in and out we want to go. So now we figured out like the outside fitment, we're gonna pop the wheels off, check the inside fitment in the wheel well, double check all the brake caliper measurements too, to make sure the wheel fits directly over it. So a lot of these OEM wheels are cast. You can kind of tell by like all these casting marks on the inside. So there's a difference between cast aluminum and forged aluminum. Casted wheels are a lot cheaper and easier to mass produce, so all the big OEMs do it. But custom forged, they start as a block of metal and you're cutting out of it versus melting a bunch of aluminum and pouring it into the mold. But the nice thing is they typically put the specs of the wheel in the back of it. So 8J19, 19-inch diameter, 8-inch width. Let's see, we have the offset information. A plus 36 offset. So now we can use that as a starting point when we're designing the final specs of the wheel with all our additional measurements coming on the outside and inside and yeah, changing up the width and overall offset. So now that we have the wheel off, we're gonna do some additional measurements. Main thing we're looking at is brake caliper in relation to where the wheel sits, as well as the hub, the center hub, how far it protrudes out. We wanna make sure that the profile of the wheel that we make won't hit the brake caliper, but has just enough clearance, as well as the center hub. Some vehicles have a bigger center hub, making the profile a bit more flat. But if you have a smaller one like this, you can have more of a aggressive concave into it. Just because we're making all these wheels from scratch, we want to figure out where our walls are to figure out what we can put inside and just push the limits of the design of the wheel. We're going to use these calipers to measure out these. These should just be OEM, a little bit of rust, but yep, 7256. So I'm actually using this brake measurement form. It has a diagram of all the brake measurements that we need to make a representation of it on the computer. So I'm gonna go through each of these and measure them out one by one. This is the height.
So Matt, now that we took all those measurements, how do you apply that in your design software?
So we start with the profile over here. This is a monoblock that we have, a single piece. And then what we do is we take a 2D slice of it, and then we apply the measurements that we got from your car to map out what the brake would look like. And we're making sure that it doesn't interfere with the profile at all. Like this is how far it pokes out, the caliper pokes out from the mounting face, as well as like the top and the bottom edge of the caliper. As you can see here, there's plenty of clearance. So this is just to guarantee that when we mount up the wheel, it's not gonna hit the caliper, and we're good to go there. This is the APC303 that we kind of used as a starting point design-wise. And in my 3D modeling program, I have everything all spec'd out, starting from the profile. Then we're adding in the bolt pattern. And then what we do is we kind of draw all the dimensions of what the spoke would look like. And then we slowly, kind of like a sculptor, kind of like start removing material until we're left with the wheel design itself. So we're adding in feature by feature, like pockets, radiuses, chamfers, everything like that, to perfect one portion of the wheel. And what we do from there is we replicate it 5 times or however many spokes there are to get to the final wheel. So what we did from the APC303 is we went back to the spoke design and kind of modified certain things from there. You know, took out some of the edges, kind of smoothed things out, kind of based on whatever design inspiration you had. This is kind of where we came up with initially. What we did was change up the characteristics of the spokes, kind of took out the multi-level aspect of the insides here, but added a larger chamfer on the outside, added these pockets around the edge of the rim, kind of broke away the top edge of the spoke to make it more defined. Just small characteristics here and there that really change up the look and feel of the wheel. And like I said, the design process is iterative. So like you do multiple versions of it. This is the first one that we made, but we're like, what if we changed up a couple things here and there? I'm not really feeling these pockets. What if they went all the way through? So we had a different version, same kind of outsides, but we started changing up the feel of it. And you can kind of see like, this is a completely different wheel, just visually from this to that. You know, just the small details make all the difference.
When somebody goes through the design process with you and orders wheels through Adaptive, how long does it take for them to get their product?
For the most part, the design process can be kind of variable, depending on how many tweaks we want to go back and forth. But once we finalize the design, manufacturing time typically takes around 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah.
That's not bad, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, especially for 100% custom forged wheels, yeah, that timeline can't be beat.
Now I'm headed off to Surf City Detail Garage in Huntington Beach to get some PPF on the BMW.
All right.
So we're gonna be doing a few things while you're busy making the wheels.
All right.